Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I recap murder TV shows. As you guys know, we are recapping Hannibal, which was on NBC in 2013 to 2016 or 17. So I just finished watching season 1, episode 2, Amouse Bouche, and I am into this show. It's great so far. It's a little on the complicated side. And I'm gonna try to just sort of cover really broad strokes what happened in the second episode. So we know from the first episode that you have two guys in the FBI essentially consulting on a series of murders, a possible serial killer, and this is all taking place in Minnesota, I believe. One of these men, the consultants, is a guy, Will Graham. He's kind of the good guy in the story, the protagonist. And then the other consultant is Dr. Lecter, Hannibal Lecter. He's a psychiatrist. So in this second episode, they start throwing around Hannibal Lecter. This is his full name. It made me wonder if this is the story, the true story of Hannibal Lecter. Did Hannibal Lecter actually consult for the FBI at one point? Is this based on a true story? Or are we in a world where Hannibal Lecter never existed, so no one would find this name unusual? So that was just something that stuck out. In the first episode, we learn that Dr. Lecter is a cannibal. He is seen in a very vivid scene cutting up a human lung and then cooking it for himself for dinner. At the top of the second episode, or maybe the end of the first, we see him feeding the Will Graham, his consultant, the good guy character, leftovers that are, it's implied that he's also feeding his colleague human meat. And in the second episode, we see Dr. Lecter have a meal with another key character in the story, who's the boss of the FBI investigation, played by the same guy as Morpheus in the show. I believe his name is Jack something. We learn about a kind of network, possible. This is what I took away, is that there is a network of people helping Dr. Lecter obtain human meat, and there's different steps to him achieving his goal, getting the satisfaction of getting human meat. These people have to be killed in some way. These people have to be preserved. So we learn in this episode a couple of techniques for how the victims are procured. One is by targeting diabetics. These people need insulin, and it comes out in the second episode that there's actually a corrupted pharmacist who is giving patients who normally get insulin with perhaps some kind of sedative or paralysis, so that many of these victims have been diabetic. We see a very disgusting scene of a human, what did I write down? A corpse garden in the forest with about 10 bodies laid out as if a cemetery, just bodies with mushrooms growing out of their bodies. And these people are being kept alive intravenously. And this is all part of the conspiracy network that they're laying out that's happening in this small town. And it's just absolutely disgusting. I mean, these are these bodies are they're vegetables literally in the ground, mushrooms growing out of them. And it's, for anybody who's into mushrooms, it's a very interesting, you know, there are 3 categories. We have animal, mineral, and fungus, I believe, is the last one. Anyway, mushrooms fall into a category all in themselves, and this show makes a very cool kind of they have a very cool idea about like the chemicals and properties of mushrooms being able to keep human bodies alive as vegetables. And you know, it's an interesting show. I guess I continue to think in episode 2 that there's a lot of Dexter here, and the show is very similar to Dexter. I don't know which one came out first. I loved Dexter, so I'm very excited that this is giving me Dexter vibes. And then you also have this Will Graham, this autistic Asperger's affected serial killer hunter who is giving us Dr. House. He is able to just call out these clues about serial killers from way left field. So I'm picking up a lot of great similarities. I am super excited to continue with the season, and what I want to know is, what I'm really curious about, I had to take so many notes. This show is so confusing. Oh, what I'm very confused about is a scene that happened at the end of the second episode, where this reporter, who's kind of a B character, witnesses a man get shot point blank. This man, she basically a stranger. He gets shot point blank by. It was super confusing to me. It seems as though he's maybe like an obsessed fan or stan of the true killer, and he wanted to maybe get himself involved in the investigation. And anyway, the second episode ends with Will Graham actually killing him, posing as a hotel infirmary. I don't know if this is going to get cleared up in future episodes, or if it's just kind of like the big finish for the second episode, but I was definitely confused by that. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this show as much as I am, and see you next time.